that'll be the end of that one.
Do you want to keep that? You said dropping, and then you said something like twice.
Thank you for tuning in to Titus Walker's Let's Build Success Together. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about positive thinking. Positive thinking is one of the most important aspects of success. I'd like to start out with this thought. 99% of the world is living in poverty or middle class. 1% of the world is rich. Now, 1% sounds like a little bit, and I hear that a lot of times where people have this idea that the 1%ers are the problem on the world. And the 1%ers, while they may be rich and some of them may be jerks, a lot of times it seems like it's something that can't be reached. But I'd like to think about that a little bit today in this positive thinking. Try and find ways to flip thoughts like that. And that's just going to be one example. So we'll start. I'm going to actually move into, I'm not sure if you've ever heard about the plant, but they've actually done studies where people take plants and plants similar to these, and those plants will grow. And as they're growing, they say positive things to one plant, and then they say negative things to the other. And the plant that's growing with negative thoughts is the plant that actually ends up growing bacteria and has a ton of issues. Whereas the plant that has only positive things said to it actually ends up growing healthy, as you can see in these pictures. So another study that was done where people actually got sick. And when they were sick, they went to a doctor, and the doctors had a controlled area where they would hand the patients placebo pills, which placebo pills are basically just sugar. And just by giving them those placebo pills, most of the patients actually got better just off of those placebo pills, which are just sugar. So the only thing that really changed in both of those is the thinking, or the words that were positive. With those people that were sick, they thought that they were getting a pill. And since they thought positively, they actually were impacted in a positive way. Whereas if they had no pill, they began to get sick. And that's just two examples of how positive thinking can really change your life. And it did change mine. Once I began to think positively about everything, it really catapulted me to a new level and a new way of operating, where I was able to purchase the things that I wanted simply because I knew that I had the ability to not only get the money if I didn't have the money at the moment, but to work harder and smarter than anybody else to make sure I could acquire those things. Now, being positive doesn't mean you're always going to have to be a positive person. I'm negative at times, and it's not because I want to be. A lot of times I don't want to be negative, but negativity comes in all shapes and sizes, and it comes from everywhere. And really, negativity is a disease, and that disease can get into your life and cause things like depression, anxiety, and all kinds of different things. Whereas when you have a positive outlook, those things aren't allowed to get into your circle. And if you continue to make that a priority, positivity, then that really changes the way you view life. And not only you, but you can't just do it yourself, because those that are around you all the time have to understand your mission. And you have to be able to go to those people. If they're your friends and they're your true friends, then you should be able to go to them and say, hey, I want to be positive from this point forward. So I'm not going to have any negativity. I'm not going to allow any negativity coming from you or from anybody around you. So if you can get those friends that understand that when you say, hey, I don't want to hear it. I'm not interested in hearing your negativity. I don't want to be around you if you're going to be negative. The only thing I want to hear is positivity coming from you and from myself, because it's hard enough for me to be positive with myself, let alone have people trying to bring me down with their own disease. Because it really is a disease, and if you think about a disease, it likes to spread. So when there's negativity coming from one person, if they want it to spread into the other people as well. So misery loves company, and that's one thing that you really got to make sure you press down on and keep away from you, and tell your family, your friends, everybody, look, this is my mission. I am striving to be the best at A, B, or C. I am striving to be positive in A, B, or C. And the only way you're going to get to that is by letting them know that I am not going to tolerate negativity around me. Now, once you can do that, it makes things so much smoother. It makes it a little bit easier because you have family and friends that will support you on your mission to being positive. And that helps you a lot on your growth. Now back to the final thought, which was the beginning thought that I brought up. That 1% versus 99%. Yeah, 1% seems really, really small, and it almost seems like it can't be acquired. So you don't even try. A lot of people don't try because they don't think it's possible. The 1%ers have what's unfair to everybody else. Because they're the 1%, it's so unfair for them to even exist. But the reality is 1% of 7 billion is 70 million. And if there's 7 billion people and only 1% of them are wealthy, then that means there's 70 million wealthy people. Now looking at it from that perspective, 70 million. Now, a lot of people consider themselves to be 1 in a million. Now, if there's 70 million and you're 1 in a million, then that would really mean that there could be 70 of you. Now, having 70 of that 1% means that you can be a 1%er when you think of it that way, because you are 1 in a million. So thinking in a positive aspect and in a positive light, don't you think you could be 1 of 70 million? Rather than thinking the 1% versus the 99%. 1 in 70 million. Now, if you answer no to that question, if you don't think you can be 1 in 70 million, then why do you play the lottery? If you play the lottery, then why would you do that? Because your chances of winning the lottery are 1 in 170 million. You have a better chance at becoming a 1%er than you do at winning the lottery. So isn't it worth striving to actually become a 1%er and think like a 1%er? Because if you think that the 1%ers think negatively or keep any negativity around them, you're wrong. And I can tell you that from experience. We do not allow negativity around us, nor should you. If you want to be one of the 1%ers, you have to think like them. You have to act like them. And again, you can be a 1%er just like you could win the lottery. But you have better chances of being a 1%er. So why not strive for that? I'm Titus Walker. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Let's build success together with Titus Walker. I am Titus Walker. Make sure you like and comment, and go ahead and click that subscribe button. Think of this as your 30-day trial period. If after 30 days you don't learn anything new, then go ahead and unsubscribe. But for now, keep watching. We'll be dropping videos. Dropping videos weekly, and you got to learn something new, because I'm going to be putting out new material, stuff that you have never heard. So let's go ahead and build success together. Thank you.
That's what you need.